Hey there, financial aficionados and curious minds. Ever wondered why you can find the American dollar almost anywhere you go in the world? From the glitzy skyscrapers of Tokyo to the bustling bazaars of Istanbul, the dollar reigns supreme. But here's a mind-boggler: could the US dollar be on the verge of losing its crown? Stick around, because we're diving deep into this high-stakes world of global currencies, economic battles, and geopolitical drama. The story of global reserve currencies. So let's set the stage with a trip back in time, way back to the age of maritime explorers and ship-borne empires. Picture yourself sailing alongside the Portuguese fleet, navigating unknown seas. The currency that fueled this grand age of exploration was the Portuguese Escudo. Portugal's global trade routes and naval power made the Escudo a hot commodity. But as history tells us, nothing lasts forever, and eventually, the Escudo sank into the ocean of forgotten currencies. Shift the scene to Spain, the land of conquistadors and El Dorado. The Spanish real was the superstar now, as Spain's newfound wealth from the Americas filled their coffers with silver. A currency so shiny and universally accepted, you could practically buy your way into heaven. But alas, empires rise and fall, and the real ended up not being so real after all. Fast forward a little, and you're standing in the canals of Amsterdam. Tulips are all the rage, and the Dutch guilder is the currency everyone's raving about. Why? Well, the Dutch mastered the art of trade, and Amsterdam's banks were as solid as a Gouda cheese wheel. But even the best cheese ages, and eventually, the guilder lost its glam. Enter the age of elegance, bonjour, French franc. France swept onto the stage with style, elegance, and the French franc. We're talking about the days of the Sun King, Louis Roman XIV, and grand palaces like Versailles. The French knew a thing or two about diplomacy and war, which propelled the franc to stardom. And the Banque de France? That was like the Wall Street of its day. But we all know how this goes. Empires crumble, revolutions happen, and before you know it, the franc got knocked off its pedestal. Next came the British pound sterling. Talk about a heavyweight champion. With the steam engine fueling its industrial revolution and a navy that ruled the waves, Britain was the empire where the sun never set. London became the world's financial capital, and the pound sterling was as good as gold, literally. This was the og of modern finance, Bank of England, global trade networks, you name it. But remember, even the mightiest titans have their Achilles heel. World wars and economic turmoil chipped away at the pound, and just like that, it had to pass the torch. Now, let's get to the main event: how the US dollar went from a scrappy underdog to the kingpin of global currencies. Post-World War II, Europe was like a rock band after a world tour, exhausted and broke. Meanwhile, the US was the new kid on the block, flexing its economic muscles and churning out products like there was no tomorrow. At this epic turning point, world leaders gathered for what we now call the Bretton Woods Agreement. And voila, the dollar was crowned the new global reserve currency, backed by the most abundant element on earth, confidence, and also gold. But hold on, because the plot thickens. Enter Richard Nixon, a president who knew how to make waves. In a twist that no one saw coming, Nixon said, "Gold? Who needs it?" and took the dollar off the gold standard. Now, the dollar wasn't just a piece of paper. It was a promise, a symbol, an idea. And ideas, my friends, are bulletproof. But here's the kicker: the dollar didn't just stay as a means of buying your morning coffee. Oh no, it became a geopolitical chess piece. The dollar, a geopolitical chess piece. Let's really break down what happens when the US flexes its financial muscles. Consider Iran a country rich in oil, yes, but also a country on the United States' geopolitical radar for years, if not decades. Now, oil transactions globally are primarily conducted in US dollars, a system known as petrodollar recycling. When the US imposes sanctions, it doesn't just mean Iran can't do business with American companies. It means Iranian oil, its lifeblood, is effectively frozen out of the global marketplace. Why? Because financial institutions that deal with Iran could themselves be sanctioned by the US, leading to a domino effect of economic isolation. And let's not forget, SWIFT, the international payment messaging system, is heavily influenced by the United States. So when sanctions kick in, Iran doesn't just lose a trading partner, it loses access to the primary network for global money transfers. It's not just a slap on the wrist, it's like being thrown into economic solitary confinement. Now onto Russia, a country with a treasure trove of natural resources from gas and oil to precious metals. When the US imposes sanctions here, it's not just a simple matter of "you can't trade with us." Oh no, it's much more intricate. Russia's major companies, the big hitters like Gazprom and Rosneft, see their assets frozen and are prohibited from using American financial systems. But here's where Russia plays its cards differently. It turns to other currencies and forms alternative trading partnerships. Think China and its massive Silk Road 2 initiative, a modern-day version of the ancient trade routes. Russia starts trading oil and gas in Chinese Yuan, and boom, they're back in the game. And let's not forget, they're also stockpiling gold reserves and flirting with the idea of a cryptocurrency like the cryptoruble as a workaround. In essence, Russia is sidestepping the dollar's dominance by creating a parallel financial ecosystem, like building an exclusive club right next to the most popular venue in town. It's a bold move, one that doesn't topple the dollar but certainly challenges its omnipotence. Danger ahead. So you've got the dollar, this Herculean figure that's been dominating the currency gym for decades, right? Well, some new challengers have walked in, and they're not here to play nice. First, let's talk about BRICS, that's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa for those keeping score at home. These countries have been huddling together, whispering, "Hey, why don't we trade using our own currencies, or maybe some gold?" It's like a secret society of economic powerhouses plotting to break the dollar's stranglehold. And they've already begun. Russia and China have signed deals to trade in their own currencies, and even India and the UAE have started trading directly in their local currencies. Then there's China. Oh, China's been a busy bee, y'all. Through the Belt and Road Initiative, it's spreading its influence like wildfire and making countries an offer they can't refuse. Hey, let's trade, but how about we do it in yuan? China is not just building roads and bridges, it's laying down economic pathways that could elevate the yuan from supporting actor to lead role in this global drama. Now, let's zoom back to the homeland, where the dollar is grappling with its own set of soap opera-worthy issues. Imagine the US. Economy as a Hollywood star, glamorous, influential, but behind the scenes, drowning in debt to the tune of trillions. Yes, trillions with a T. And let's not even talk about the trade deficit. It's like that scandalous affair that just won't go away. Then there's inflation, the paparazzi of economic indicators. 1 minute you're enjoying your $5 Frappuccino, the next minute it's $6, and you're left wondering, what just happened? Well, that's inflation for you, always there to take an unflattering snapshot when you least expect it. But wait, there's more. Emerging from the digital shadows are cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. These are not just alternatives, they're rebels, breaking all the traditional rules of finance. And don't overlook central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. Even countries are getting into the crypto game. It's like everyone's trying to build their own financial spaceship to escape the gravitational pull of the dollar. So what have we learned on this whirlwind tour through the life and times of global currencies? Whether it's the Escudo of yesteryear or the dollar of today, no currency is invincible. Economic landscapes shift, political winds change direction, and what was once rock solid can crumble in the blink of an eye. But remember, the end of one era is the beginning of another. Will the dollar face its twilight years, or will it adapt and evolve? Only time will tell. And in the world of money, change is the only constant.